Hi everyone, how are you? I am so excited for today's training. We are going live right now in the Rise group to talk about you stepping into your 2022 you. I'm super excited for today because it's kind of we're piggybacking off of last week a little bit. And we're going to get some background noise here. So let me make sure we're piggybacking off of last. Yeah, so we're piggybacking off of last week where we really talked about, how we can, when we get pulled out of our power, how can we come back in? And so last week we were really talking about this momentum that comes with really stepping in and being in our power, the momentum that comes in terms of, creating our dreams, living them out, living out our desires, and how we can create that momentum, but how we can keep it as well. So I'm going to pop the link to that above here because today we're kind of piggybacking off of that and talking about how you right now in this minute can step into your 22 you. And what even is that, Marissa? Like what even is that you're talking about, this 22 me? Like what is that all about? And so we're going to do like a little guided imagery to really see if you can visualize that higher level of yourself. And it is that we are stepping into this year, right? It is breaking through these barriers, breaking through these. Sometimes it just feels like we've got to take the lid off. Like we have to remove the ceiling to be able to see through to where our potential actually is and what we can actually achieve in this life, like if we really put our mind to it. And so for today, I'm talking really about personal power, like how we can get into our personal power. We're going to do a little guided imagery. And I'm going to just give you a few ways of how you can step into that 2022 you starting from today. And we have a beautiful workshop starting next week, which I'm so excited for. I hope that you will all join us for that. It runs for 5 days, like an hour a day for 5 days. You don't have to show up live if you don't, if you can't attend live, you can watch the videos on the replay, but really to step into your 22 you. This is the theme of the Rise workshop next week. And so today's really like a little, I'm going to give you some like little snippets and just a couple little things that you can do to start today stepping into that powerful you, that 2022 you. So take a deep breath with me. I'm drinking smoothie over here. But let us just calm our mind, calm our body for a moment and go into a little visual of what your year ahead could look like. And we're going to do quite a bit of this next week, which I'm really excited for. So let's close our eyes, feet flat on the floor if you're seated on a chair. Taking a deep breath in through your nose. Holding at the top, and then breathe it all out through your mouth. Imagining roots extending, big roots like from a tree, extending from the base of your spine, the bottoms of your feet, all the way down to the center of the earth. Taking another deep breath in with me. Holding at the top. And then as you're breathing out, just breathe out all your air and just feel your body being pulled by the force of gravity to the earth. So feeling your body getting heavy, you can relax down your shoulders, relax your neck. And feeling those roots, extending from the base of your spine, really pulling you down to the center of the earth. And from here, I want you to visualize your best year ever. So maybe you did the meditation with us, the global meditation on New Year's Eve. Maybe you didn't, but just visualizing your best year ever. So with your mind's eye, just going to a place. Where is that place? And what does it look like? And what's around you? And what are you doing? And who is there? And most importantly, how does it feel? How does it feel? And maybe this is something you've been dreaming of for a long time. Maybe this is something that you've wanted in your life for a long time. And I want you to really visualize this as though It has already happened and it is all around you. So maybe you're doing the thing that you've been dreaming about doing. Maybe you've started that business you wanted to start and it's going so well. Maybe you're in that relationship you want to be in. And just visualizing this little scene. It's one scene. Taking a deep breath in. Breathe it all out. And now I want you to just feel what that feels like in your body. So you might feel it in your belly. It might be excitement and happiness and joy and fulfillment. It may be in your heart space, and it might be contentment and relaxation and calm and spaciousness. So taking a breath into that and really feeling, what does this feel like? What does it feel like to actually live out this beautiful scene, this, that I've had? Maybe you've had it in your mind for a while, but it's this moment in time that you would love to see come to fruition. And then feeling it in your body. Where is it in your body? What does it feel like? Taking another deep breath with me. Breathe it all out. And then noticing the difference, right? Noticing the difference in the person that is in that scene, how you feel in that scene, how you show up in that scene. So what do you look like? What are you wearing? How are you holding yourself? What is your posture like? What is your confidence level like? What is different between the way that you're showing up now and the way that you're showing up then? So what is the difference? What are these different aspects of yourself? Maybe they're physical, maybe they're mental, maybe they're emotional. Maybe there's this new level of deep knowing, like knowing your worth, knowing your deservability. Just breathing into all of this. And this is just information, right? We're just bringing awareness, taking a deep breath in. Breathe it all out. And just noticing, just being the gentle witness and noticing, what is the difference between me now and me then? And what do I need to be doing? Like, what energy do I need to step into? What level of confidence do I need to bring in? What else do you need to do or step into to really be that person today? And so the beauty of this is that these are all parts of you, right? And the beauty of this is that you can today start to bring in elements of that future you. Taking a deep breath with me, knowing deeply what it is, like what is the difference between where you're at today and where she or he is at, at that point moving forward. And then just coming back into your body, rubbing your hands on your legs, or maybe rubbing your hands together to release some of that energy. Take a big yawn, take a big stretch up. And then slowly just coming back into this space with me. And so you can already see, right, like how simple it is to just visualize and feel like what it feels like to be in that new you, right? And it's not really a new you. So I definitely want to get clear on that. And I just had a coaching call this morning with one of my clients, and she was saying, I've changed so much. And the beauty of this kind of change, like this personal power change, is empowering ourselves kind of change, is that we don't lose who we are and become a new person. We don't really change that much. We just get rid of the stuff that is not serving us, and then we become more of who we are. Like you become more of who you already are. So it's not like you need to change to become this whole new person. We just need to unravel and let go of a lot of the things that might be holding you back, like right now, right? And so I really want to dive into personal power today and just how we can get you starting today, like starting right now, really standing in your personal power, really moving toward this year that looks so amazing and beautiful to you and really holds all of your desires, dreams that maybe you've had for a really long time. And let this be your year. Like let 2022 be your year, the year that you really step into being that person that you need to be to fulfill all of these dreams and desires, right? So if you are ready for that, if you're just like, like I am there with you, I am in, put your hand up into the comment and be like, I'm ready for this. Something maybe you've had on your heart for a long time. Marissa, I've been thinking about this a long time and I'm ready. Like 2022 is my year for this. And I know like every year we can say that, like this year's my year, right? But if we don't really step up and really embody the person that we need to be able to do all of that. So like the person I was 10 years ago, in saying that, it's all about like me just becoming more of me, right? So it's not like I'm a different person, but the person, the energy I was showing up in and the way that I was holding myself and the way that I was operating and my management of time and activities and things and my business, all of that is so different to the way that I show up today. And it had to be that way. Because if I kept showing up the way that I was showing up back then, ever heard that expression, like, what is it? If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always had. And so if I didn't shift, like if I didn't change, if I didn't get the support that I needed to really step in and be a different version of me, then I wouldn't be doing all that I'm doing today. There's no way. There's no way I would show up in the consistency. There's no way I would show up in confidence. There's just no way. There's so much that needed to come out and there was so much that needed to go as well at the same time. So put your hand up in the comments if you're kind of with me and you're like, oh yeah, I get it. Like I understand that there's some stuff that is holding me back. There's some stuff that needs to go and there's definitely some really cool stuff that needs to like come in as well. And so just for today, thinking about like, how does that future you operate? How does she hold herself? How does she dress even? How does she speak? How confident is she? How much does she, how organized is she? All of these types of things. So asking yourself these questions today, because this is really the preparation for next week when we all dive into the 5 days, and you're going to come out of those 5 days renewed, like completely renewed and refreshed, because we're going to let go of pieces. You're going to start to understand different beliefs, different patterns that you've had over the years. Some of that ick needs to go for you to be able to step up, even more this year. So you're going to understand all of that just at a whole new level by the end of next week. And so today is, hi, I've got a couple of people just jumped on. How are you? Hi, Kim. Yes, hand up. Exactly. And so, let's get ready for this. Like, let's really prepare ourselves today so that we can dive in to next week and really get the most out of the workshop. And I'm going to pop the link in the comments for you guys if you haven't signed up already. I just think everyone should do this workshop because this is the kind of work that I did like when I first started like breaking out of my shell, when I first started saying, you know what I've had in the past is I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not even that person anymore. And sometimes we can have these little like identity crises where we kind of feel like we revert back to old behaviors and old thought patterns and old belief systems, but it's not even who we are anymore. So we just need to like release and let go. And we're going to be doing some of that healing next week. So you guys get ready, get ready. So today is personal power. And so let's dive into this. So when we talk about personal power, I want you guys to really know and understand that when I talk about personal power, I'm not talking about power, like the kind of power that is like powerful and pushy and like, power over other people or anything like that. When I talk about personal power, I mean like that power that you have deep within you, that is, there are no limitations, right, on your potential, on what you're able to create in your life, on who you're able to be in your life, right, or how you're able to show up. And I know, especially for us women, and just put a thumbs up in the comments if you also feel this too, especially for us women, sometimes these thoughts start coming up in our mind, like, and I know I've had them, I still have them, where it's like, oh, but she can do that because she has A, B, or C, right? Like she can do that because she has an education in this, or she can do that because she looks good when she does that or whatever, right? She can do that because she's more confident than I am. She can do that because she lives there, right? So put a thumbs up in the comments if you've ever felt that way, if you've ever felt that come up for you. It's like this comparison that we do this to ourselves, and it makes us feel as though we won't be able to do it, or we're not worthy enough of it, or, we don't deserve it, or whatever it might be. And so just let me know if you've also felt that too. And so what this is our conditioned self, right? Coming up, and I'm going to go through and explain this all in detail in the workshop next week. I'm so excited for this workshop because it's really you guys just unleashing like this new version of you, and really giving yourself permission to live out your dreams. And that's what it is more than anything else. And so what is personal power? I just kind of explained it a little, but it's that power that you get from deep within you. It's that power that you feel when you understand who you are, that you understand that you're not just like having a human experience, but you are a spiritual being having a human experience, and you're more powerful than you will ever know. And it's that feeling that you get when you're on top of a mountain, and you get goosebumps, or someone pinches you, or you pinch yourself and you're like, am I really alive? Like, how beautiful is this life? You're fully in your personal power. And so what I like to do in this group, and welcome, because we have lots of new members in this group, so I wanted to give you guys a big warm welcome too. And so what we want to do is to get you to this place where you're making all of your decisions from your personal power, because we can start making decisions for ourselves from our conditioned self, and we've been doing that most of our life probably, and we can see the patterns that start to come when we do that. So these patterns that start to come from, I'm going to make this decision because it feels comfortable to me. This feels more comfortable to me. I'm going to stay here in this place because it feels more comfortable to me. And what can happen is we can just get a little bit confused when the conditioned self is throwing all of this at us, because we feel sometimes we can just mistake safety for comfort, right? And so the conditioned self wants you to be safe. This is going way back to our fight, flight responses, right? Where we used to run from lions, whatever we were running from. And it's natural for the conditioned self to want to keep us safe, right? So build a cave, lock the door, just keep me here, right? And so any discomfort that we feel when we're stepping in, and this is what can happen when we step in really big, which you guys are going to all do this year. And if you come into the workshop next week, you're going to have a footing to do that. Really, when we step in and we go and do these really big, beautiful things for ourselves, and we're like, I'm ready, the conditioned self comes up even more. And so what I want to do for you today is just give you a couple little tools that you can use, that you can take away with you, to really just start to get you into your personal power, because it's there that's going to be the platform for you to achieve, receive, everything that you want to in 2022. Yes. How does that sound for you? Put some flowers, put some dancing emojis, put whatever excites you, into the comments. And I want to hear from you too. Like, what's your big dream for 2022? What is your big dream for 2022? And what was that vision in the meditation that we did, or in the little guided imagery that we did? What was that vision? What were you doing? Who were you with? What were you feeling? So just go ahead and pop that into the comments for me, because this is the beginning of it, right? This is the beginning of you creating exactly what it is that you want to create in 2022. All right, so good. Okay, so the first, what we talked about last week was momentum, creating that momentum and keeping that momentum. And so what I want to share today is just a couple ways that we can step into that personal power and stay in your personal power. And so the first way that we can do that is to really step into our personal power and be in our personal power more of the time, is really understanding and getting to that level of deep understanding that the power that you have, even when you feel like you don't have it, you do. Right? And so there's no outside factors, there's nothing that can happen outside of you that can take away your personal power. So it is not determined by events that are happening outside, worldly pandemics. There's nothing that can happen outside of you that can take away your personal power. It is always there. It is intact. It always has been, from the time you were born until now, right? Even before the time you were born. Some days you own it. Some days you hold it. Some days you move with it. You walk with it. And some days you don't. Some days you just put it down, right? Put it up here on the shelf with my smoothie and I just go about my day, right? Sometimes we don't really use it, but that's all it is. And so it's just understanding that it's always within you. It always has been within you. And it's just a matter of you kind of picking it up, right? And so other days you have it, but you don't pick it up and you don't use it and you don't walk with it and you don't, hold it close and you don't step into it. But truly, really, truly nothing, there's nothing in this world that can take away your personal power. It is within you. It is everything that you are. It is fully intact. And so permission, I'm giving you permission to use it, right? Permission to call on it, permission to turn to it, permission to pick it up and use it like right now, because it's all yours. It is all yours and it's there for you. And so you might not always feel like it's tangible, right? You might not always feel like, but where is it, Marissa? Where did I put it? It's with my keys somewhere or whatever, right? It may not always feel tangible, but even if you can't see it, and even when you can't feel it, it is always there. And so sometimes we're not in the driver's seat of our own life, right? Like our conditioned self, when it takes over and we talk about like fear driving the bus of our life, we don't want to let our conditioned self drive the bus of our life. And next week in the workshop, I'm going to share with you why. Because the default mode network in our brain and other aspects of our brain can really, if we just leave our mind and our brain to do what it wants to do, it is going to take us to the worst possible scenario. It's going to take us to those negative thoughts that spiral down. It's going to take us fully into our conditioned self. And we really need to grab that personal power and be like, I'm not staying here. Like I refuse to stay here any longer. I'm going to step over here and I'm going to shift, gears, and I'm going to take the wheel back and I'm going to drive myself from my personal power. And so sometimes it's just this kind of dance between the two, and then this realizing that you actually have that choice and you have that. And so I just want to see, before we move on to number 2, I just want to see if we have any comments about the visualization, because I would love to hear what the visuals. Yes. Big dream for 2022 is to feel freedom. Awesome. So beautiful. Feel freedom from circumstances and to be joyful in every day. That's so beautiful. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it so much. Love that for you. Big dream. Feel freedom from circumstances. And I think freedom is it's definitely a hot topic word at the moment, but I think it's something that we all want to feel this year. And so if you relate, if you're watching this on the replay and you relate to this and you're like, yeah, I want to feel freedom, more and more and more in the Rejuvenate program, I'm finding that people's words, the words of these beautiful women, what's coming out is, I want to feel more free. I want to be freed. And a lot of this has to do with like the stuff that we carry, like just old wounds, old, old negative patterns, old thinking, old belief systems, old paradigms that need to be shifted, that need to go, that need to be released. And we do that through the healing work in the Rejuvenate program, which is what makes it so powerful, really. And so if you like are leaning into that and you're like, yes, I also want to feel free, I also want that freedom as well, go ahead and just share in the comments, what is it that you would, really like to lean into this year? What is it that you would really like to feel? But I know for a lot of you, it is freedom. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Kim. Okay. So number two. So number one is really understanding that nothing can take away your power. Like nothing. There is nothing in this world that can take it away. And sometimes we feel like it's been taken from us, or other people are taking it from us, or circumstances are taking it from us. But you are whole and complete exactly as you are. Exactly as you are. And so number two is really just having the tools to get back in, right? Like when we fall out, when we feel like we've fallen, away from the driver's seat and we're not driving anymore, and conditioned self has taken over. Maybe we've veered off onto the side of the road, and maybe we're going to sit there for the next year, right? Or maybe we can use some tools and techniques to get out of the car, change the tire, right? It's not all easy. It's not all comfortable. It doesn't always feel safe and great and comfortable, but we can take our power back. And so getting out of the car, changing the tire, learning how to change a tire for some of us, it's been a long time for me, and then taking it back, taking the steering wheel back, taking the car back, taking the driver's seat of your life back, and then just headed down that highway, baby, all the way. So having the tools, this is a big one. Having the tools to get back in. Often we feel stuck, or we feel like we've lost control of our, we're not in the driver's seat of our life anymore, but we don't know how to get back there. So when you feel like you've lost your personal power, when you feel like you don't know the next step to do, how do you get it back? So this is something that we're going to dive deep into next week, but I want to share a couple little stories with you now and maybe give you some ideas on how you can start to do that today. So back in, gosh, I can't even remember the year now, but back when I was living in Australia, I had left a relationship, and when I left this particular relationship, something really interesting happened to me. I knew I didn't want to be in the relationship anymore. I knew the relationship wasn't serving me. But as soon as I left the relationship, I kind of lost my identity. So my identity really was revolving around me being in this particular relationship with this particular person, right? And so I kind of felt like I'd lost my identity. I lost who I was. I was like, but wait, who am I again? And so a lot of what I needed to do, a lot of the tools that I needed to do to reclaim my own personal power was really just remind myself of who I was, because I didn't ever change. Like my authentic self was still the same. My essence, deeply who I am, has never changed. It was me when I was born, and it still is me now. But I needed to remind myself of who I was. Hands up if you've ever been in this situation where you kind of feel like you've lost, like you're in this transition zone and you feel like you've kind of lost who you are, and a little bit of you've lost your way a little bit because your identity may have been caught up, in a different way, and now that's gone. And so it's like, but who am I now? And so I really lost sight of who I was and who I had always been, right? So nothing had really changed. It was just I had forgotten. And so the very first thing that I did, I went for a walk. And I ended up in Sydney, they have like these beautiful little markets on a Sunday or on a Saturday, on a weekend. And they have, food and books, secondhand books and clothing. And so I was just walking through these markets and I said to myself, I really need something to help me because I just feel really lost right now. I just feel like I really just don't know what my next step is. And I was so confused and so lost. And I walked up to this book stand and I just looked at the books. And the first book that I found was by Martha Beck, and it was called Finding Your Own North Star. I believe that's the name of the book. I should still have it somewhere. And I read the book and I got a couple of tools from the book and I started using, some of these tools. One of the tools that I used was simply just putting up affirmations around my house. So reminders to really get me back in my power. And I moved into this little apartment and on the bottom floor, like right by the pool in this building. And it had one bathroom with this huge mirror. And I just put up like 1,000 affirmations on my mirror to the point that I couldn't even like get ready in the morning, like to look in the mirror. There was no mirror space, right? But this was how much I needed the reminders. I needed to be reminded, right? And so it may be that you do the same thing as me. You write in lipstick on your mirror, or you had little Post-it notes. It was like every color of Post-it notes. I really should have taken a photo, probably did. And then I had guests to come and stay with me, and I left them to get ready to go for the day. And I was like, oh my gosh, I left all the affirmations on the mirror. And there's no way that they would have been able to like brush their hair or do their makeup or whatever it is that they need to do to leave the house. And I laughed so hard. And if you're watching this training, Jess or Sam, you were there, you understand this. And so sometimes we just need these reminders. And so having a think about, what do you need to hear right now? If you were your own friend, what would you need to hear right now? What would you need to hear, right? If this was a friend of yours who'd lost their power, who felt like this way, what do you need to hear? And so it might be like, you are amazing, you are made for greatness, your personal power is intact, you are becoming more of who you already are. You deserve all the happiness in the world. You deserve a love that is genuine and kind. You deserve, the world, whatever it might be for you. But write those down and either put them up as affirmations like around you, or punch them into your phone and just remind yourself of who you really are, right? In your power, because your power is, as we mentioned, always there. It's never gone. It is always there. It's just that sometimes we need to like reach and actually pick it up. So that was quite a hilarious story, because I had these people come to my house and they like couldn't look at my mirror. But those affirmations, there was enough affirmations to remind me of who I am at my core, and to keep going and to keep going. And that book really helped me too. And the book really was just a stepping stone really into this work, because from that I really, then got a mentor and had a coach, and we would do healing, and I was able to like unravel a lot of that, do a lot of the forgiving, just freedom, free myself of those chains that we can like put on that sometimes just hold us down. So yay. So sometimes it's just that we can't see ourselves through the lens of our authentic self. We see ourselves through like these dirty sunglasses. I'm going to bring my dirty sunglasses next week and show you guys, because that is just what the mind does. Like, it's always going to default back to the conditioned mind, to those conditioned parts of you, if you don't take a stand for your own self, right? And your own life. So go ahead and write those down. If you were your own friend, what would you say to yourself? If you were talking to a friend right now, what would you say? What would you tell her? How would you lift her? What would you remind her of? go ahead and pop into the comments and let me know, what is it that you need to hear most right now? And let yourself be that person, right? All the nice things that you say to others, like think about how you would say that to yourself. How would you say that to a friend? And then another kind of cool thing to do is to listen to all the nice things that people say to you, all the nice things that people say about you that you overhear or that they tell you, and keep a scrapbook, keep a little journal page or something where you write all of these down. Because these are your reminders, right, of your power, of your presence in this world, of your importance. And that is what is going to fuel you to really step back into your personal power. Yes. And then number 3, so let me just see. I'm kind of out of comments, so I'm not seeing you. Yes, losing your identity has been a very real thing in your life. And I think it goes for all of us. Like when we are confident and strong and in our power and all of these beautiful things, when life is going well, it's really easy for us to, step into a new identity. When we are not in our personal power, when we are, not feeling great, when things kind of pull us out of the driver's seat, it can feel really challenging sometimes to be like, wait, who am I again, right? And so this is why it's so important that we have the tools to just be able to keep pulling ourselves back. We are the only ones that can do it, right? So the power is with you, right? The power is with you. So good. Love that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it so, so much. So yeah, get a little page, a little journal page or a little workbook that is designated, just to you, reminding yourself of your power. And then write down, like anytime someone gives you a compliment or, says something really, that you did something really great for them, or that you're just doing something wonderful in life, or that you have this trait that's really positive, just write it down, write it down, write it down. These are your reminders. And then you can always come back to this when you're not feeling great and be like, oh yeah, that's who I am, right? And then the third way that we can really get into our personal power is to really know and understand that we cannot get out of a funk in our head, right? So what do I call it? I used to say like a mind mess or something. Can't remember. But anytime I used to be like in this mind mess, I would say, don't try and think yourself out of a mind mess. And so now I say to you, don't try and think yourself out of a funk, because your mind is exactly what started the funk. So we're not going to get out of the funk by continuing to think. So we want to move our body. That's a big one. So go and do star jumps, or go for a run, or go for a walk or something. Keep your eye level in the top third or the top quarter, right? Because that's where your authentic self looks. We know this. We know with the nervous system that when we are in happier states, we tend to look up. And when we are feeling depressed and anxious and sad, we tend to look down. And it goes both ways. So you can use your level of vision to change your state. How cool is that? So that's something really small that you can start today. If you noticed yourself looking down a lot, see if you can keep your vision in line in that top quarter or top third, right? Just to send that signal to your brain that you are in a feel-good state, right? That you are feeling, and we know this. We see people when they feel confident, their shoulders are back, their chest is open, their heart is open, their eyes are, up. And then when we're not feeling great, we're like hunched shoulders over, looking down, chest cavity, right? Closed out, breathing shallow, all of these things. And so we're going to go through this in the workshop next week. You're going to have a workbook that you work through to really notice, what am I doing in my days, and how can I shift my state in my days from the very first moment that you wake up in the morning. So I say, don't try and think yourself out of a head mess. That's what I used to say. Now I say, don't try and think yourself out of a funk, right? Use your heart, use your body, get physical. And so it's that just repetitive nature of our thoughts that can really keep us stuck sometimes. So there you go. Those are 3 ways that you can jump back into your personal power today. Please come along to the workshop next week. You're going to love it. I just feel like everyone in the world should be there. I would love to meet. There are so many people that have come into this group in the last few weeks, and I would love to meet you. I would love to see you. We are likely going to have a closed Zoom session at the end of the workshop where we all get to see each other, which would be so amazing. So come in, vibe with everyone. The most beautiful people are in this group. This is a safe space for you to do all of this inner work. This is a safe space for you to just get vulnerable, be yourself, to open, to heal, to grow. We're all in this together, and I love you guys to bits. So I hope you enjoyed today's training. I would love to hear any ahas or any reminders that you got from this training. Just pop them into the comments below. I'm sure other people would like to hear them, learn from them as well. Love you guys so much. Have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me. Mwah.